Hello, welcome, I'm the Raging Beard. Now I've got a nice big plain box here, but the beady-eyed among you will have seen the title and know that something special resides inside. I ordered these items from Ascher Racing some time ago. They've been out of stock for ages. As soon as I saw they came in, I jumped on it, put them in basket, and that was only a few days ago. They're already here. I didn't expect them to be so fast. That's a raging cat, already trying to inspect the box. So basically I'm looking to replace these two items that I bought about 16 months ago from a guy on eBay called Simline. I did a video at the time. They've done me alright. The pair of them combined, it was cheaper than just one item, you know, in here. So, but they developed problems. The buttons, they're obviously cheap buttons. A lot of these are failing, not all of them. I've dropped this one as well, which has caused a bit of an issue. I fixed the problem, but there's some bounce occasionally, causing a double gear change. It's a bit annoying. And yeah, likewise on the button plate, numerous buttons are just failing now. The gears still work great, but yeah, it's a bit of an issue, a right pain. So I'm basically just upgrading. So I've got the button plate from Ascher Racing to go on my Trecento, and the sort of open wheel style or GT3 style rim to replace this one, and probably my McLaren GT3. I'll just flog that. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm also going wireless. There should be hopefully the wireless receiver in here for Simucube. Now where my Simucube is based is quite far-ish away from the wheel, and it's inside its metal casing, so there could be issues with that. If so, I'll have to deploy plan B, which is extend the circuit board, the receiver, out of the box with 6 of these, I believe it's 6-pin, and tidy them up with a bit of this you know, sort of shielding stuff, whatever you call it, I don't know, just some cable tidy. That's the plan. So I'll get it open, get them on, and I'll come back. Right, the F28 SC. Excuse the noise behind, I've got a raging cat currently raging. Right, what we got? An envelope. Yeah, with all your stickers. Okay, black and white ones, but obviously I don't need them. I'm going to be in VR, so well relevant. Might put them on, give it a look. Okay. A little pack of the bolts, the washers. They've even done their own baggies. Okay, it is small. Nothing else. That is beautiful. Oh, that is beautiful. I mean, I've enjoyed using the McLaren GT3 rim, but you know, it's not meant for direct drive. And although it holds up well, it's not as rigid as something like this. This is going to just be awesome. Yes. You can add another magnet or a second magnet, or is it already on there? Something I don't know. They feel great. Right, buttons. Proper buttons, proper clicky buttons. I love these. So these are directional joysticks, both of them. I guess sort of like the funky switch, whatever they call it on Fanatec. So not only are they joysticks, they're rotary and button at the same time. So that's a dual kind of feature. Pretty awesome. Loving that. Got a little aerial at the back. I believe that's where the battery is in there. And you're on off. Nice. Very nice. Right. On to box number 2, which should be the medium-sized button plate. Little receiver. Of course, if I've got to mount it outside somewhere, which I probably will, I'll just get a little box, a little case for it. In the meantime, it will just be bare, set out. But yeah, there we go. That's that. Nice little protective case in there. Right, this is the B16M SC, so it's wireless. That's medium size of the two. I think they do 2 sizes. Button plate, and on the website it lists the Trecento as being one of the wheels this is suitable for. And here we have a bigger envelope with a bigger array, multiple colours. What else we got? Nuts and bolts, some more bolts, and some tiny little bolts. And again, it's instantly just a beautiful piece of kit. The finish, sort of the black brushed finish on there, gloss back, obviously same sort of feel, same buttons. Now this doesn't have the funky style switch, doesn't have a joystick, it's got these 2 rotary encoders. And yeah, buttons all around. Feel really good. Yeah, and these are metal as well, these 2 rotaries. So all feels great. Now I've just got to work out, I like all my wheels to be the same distance from me. So I've got different size ones of these. I'm going to work out which goes on which. And basically let's just get them mounted. That's the next thing. I'll get that done and be back here with the end result. Right, just quickly one other point. I mentioned earlier about it coming with extra magnets to change the feel of the paddle shifters. It does come with a stack of magnets, but I nearly totally missed them because they come embedded in the polystyrene packaging. You can only see from one side, which was the top side, and I happened to notice it before I forgot about the packaging. So don't overlook it, don't chuck them away. Both devices exactly the same, embedded in the bottom edge of the polystyrene there. Alright. Okay, so job done, straightforward. Unbolting the extensions, quick releases of what I had, and bolting them on here. Here's my own bolts. Obviously these kind of extensions are all over eBay. These bits are quite thick, so the bolts it comes with weren't long enough. Same on this one. Well, I've got the silver bolts going through, not the black ones it comes with. They're not long enough. These are 45mm total, roughly about 40mm of thread, which is the perfect length. The ones it comes with would not bolt up. Well, you'd have like a millimetre if you're lucky of thread showing. Yeah, so that's it. Another quick point to mention: this M button plate, the medium, listed as being for rims such as the Trecento, definitely will not fit the Fanatec GT rim. You know, the D-shaped rim. I know because I've got one, bought it on a whim. It was brand new at a good price. I'm not using it anywhere at the moment, but it won't fit. That does need the large, and it states out on the website, but I just double checked, and yeah, it won't fit on. It'll hit these buttons. So that's just to really emphasise that point. Get the right size. Right, next step is to get down there and get the wireless receiver in and test it. Okay, so this is where we're at. This is the SW28 from sim-plicity. I don't believe they sell this one anymore, but you know, they're all essentially the same sort of thing. This is an aluminium case, and having taken it apart, taken the back off with the 4 Torx bolts, drop that down, you can see inside that's the Simucube board, and this would sit in there. The things I've read about people having signal problems and that, I've decided actually I'm not even going to try it with just that in there, in the metal housing, a little bit away from the wheel. There's no point, and I want the best signal I can get. So you'll notice I haven't used this stuff. It's just a faff, kept just fraying and whatnot. Don't need it. So there we go. Here's that plugged in, and what I'm doing is, let me just set that down. Sorry, there's not a whole lot of light. This feeds through. There's enough gap around one of these USB slots. Whereabouts it feeds through, well, I've put it through and marked it with a marker, and I've wrapped a load of electrical tape, so the wire isn't rubbing on the edge here. It's got a bit of protection. So this is the last thing really. Put that on the end, make sure it's the right way round, put it back together, connect it up, and then we jump on the rig and go from there. Alright. Okay, so it's all connected, as yet untested, but yeah, the 2 wheels as they are now sat in my pretty awesome display, if I do say so myself. This one is probably going to be sold, and I don't know, I'll find something to slot in. So if I come down, this is obviously the Simucube box. At the moment I've just got it, as I said, the cable coming out the back and just taped on under there, and that's actually pretty much in line with, you know, the wheels going to be here, so pretty clear signal, I'd say. So next step, turn it on, see what happens. Okay, so as you've seen, they're both ready to go. I've got the button plate, the B16 here on the Trecento, and the F28 here on the rig, looking beautiful, ready to be played with. Man, it is a bit of kit, they both are. So I'm going to show you how to set them up, how to pair them, having multiple devices in Simucube, then show how to overcome a couple of little niggles that are just present at the moment. So straight away we'll go into wireless wheels. Now neither of them are paired or anything, this would be how it comes at the moment. The first thing I'm just going to do is tick on connect automatically to paired devices. Tick that. Settings applied. Let's click save. So it's scanning much like, you know, with a Bluetooth device. If I just turn the F28 on, it's going to pop up. There it is. and I'm going to click on it and click connect. Job done. Button. Now the second one, scan for devices. I turn that on. Click on it. Click connect. Now you've only got to pair the device for the first time through Simucube. After that it remembers and you don't need to do it via this again. I'll show you what I mean. We'll come out of this. So you can see at the moment both devices are on, but this is showing no button inputs. You can see that it's this button plate that's on in the moment. At the moment this one isn't doing anything even though they're both turned on. So how I can switch to this wheel is if you hold both paddles in for 5 seconds. It's now disconnected. So then to connect this one, they're still both powered on, but obviously that's not doing anything, this is not doing anything. All I've got to now do is hold both paddles on this one for 2 seconds. And there, instantly paired. You can see, look, registering a button press there. And just again, if I wanted to swap back, 5 seconds on this one, 2 on that one. Now that's if you're just keeping them powered on, which you can do because it goes into a sleep mode. It's using sort of power when it's not registering any button presses, but I'm turning them off each time I don't use them, and I'll show you the reason why. If I just power them both off, okay, now I find this easier, to be quite honest with you. I want to use this wheel, turn it on, and it automatically connects. Job done. How quick is that, right? And if I want to use that one, I'm just going to turn this one off, turn that one on, and bang, that one's connected. To me that's easier than faffing about holding paddles for 5 seconds, 2 seconds and leaving them powered on. So that's my plan. So that's the first thing, they're now connected, and as you saw, I only have to do it at one time through Simucube. You can obviously have this closed and they'll still connect fine. Right, next thing is these are advertised as hot swappable. Well, not just these, but Simucube wireless devices as hot swappable. To me, that means in sim, I could park at the side of the track, swap them over, and pretty much continue. Now, obviously, some devices have more buttons than others, but for the basic functions like the reach of your thumbs, they should generally be the same. That isn't the case here. I contacted Ascher Racing again. Martin got back to me and said apparently I found a bit of a bug because, for example, the top left black button here on this one should equate to the top left black button on here, but it doesn't. It's the one down here. And one of the top right buttons on here equates to like right on the encoder here. So, you know, at the moment you can have your F28 perfectly set up and swap over, and you're turning on your wipers, beating your horn, doing all sorts, you wouldn't have a clue what you're doing. But he said hopefully there'll be a solution to that. I think it's a bit more of a complicated problem than I realise, but that's how it is at the moment. Now, there is a solution to it. Even after any fix that might be done in future, they still might not match up how you want them to. Like, you might want a certain button to be the same button on here, and it just won't be. Now, of course, some sims allow you to set controls per car. Obviously, iRacing does. Content Manager can, but I found, just for me personally, every now and then controls are just deleted. I've got re-input controls, and that's on Content Manager, just not the SSO Corsa launcher itself. But so I prefer to use, and always have, JoyToKey. Now, I did a video before on JoyToKey. I probably didn't explain very well why it's so good and didn't go in depth onto using it so much, but in a nutshell, what makes it so useful is it makes Simucube or whatever you've got hot swappable anyway. Because say you've got 5 wheels, but they all have buttons, all have button plates. Basically, you've got 5 USB controllers there. Now you can't go into sim and program in 5, yeah, you could do it per car or whatever, but generally you can't just go in and say, right, on this wheel I want this button to do my lights, on this wheel this button to do my lights. You just got to pick one input. Well, all you've got to do on here is say, for example, you wanted your top left button to be lights on all of them. Well, you go into JoyToKey and you would click, say they'd be in here listed as devices. Joystick 1, say your first wheel, you'd press it, it would highlight what button it is and set that to, L on the keyboard for lights. Go to your next one, your next device, whatever button it shows up as, put that as L. They'd all be L, so whenever you press that button on any of your things, it would register as an L. And in sim, lights, just put as L. And you can do it for everything. That's why I've always done it. It's brilliant. So I could always hot swap. It's a bit trickier at the moment with these because these are registered as the same device. Now let me go on to number 6 here, which is my Simucube. Now we scroll down. These use inputs 33 to 60. Now this green bar here means it's registering an input. Unfortunately, at the moment, my button plate has a problem. It's registering that button as permanently being pressed. Here's a fault. I emailed Ascher Racing. Martin's got straight back to me with a UPS returns label. So, it's a bit annoying. It's a pain, but these things happen, and it's just shown customer service is top notch. So it's going straight back. And he said, the day after he gets it back, he should have it back out to me. So, okay, I can live with that. But let me show you what I mean here. So I've gone through and labelled them all, and why it's not hot swappable, I would say, at the moment. If I click the upper left, so let's just ignore this green one here for now, okay? So if I click upper left black button on here, you can see here on the right, B16 left black upper. But on this one, that equates to left joy counterclockwise, basically turning the rotary counterclockwise. So I could have that as crew chief, and if I wanted to swap wheels and remember, I've got to turn that left to be crew chief. Same as all of them. I go on to the one next to it. On here, that's the turning it clockwise. If I pick the bottom left, it registers the top left on here, so they don't match at all. Now hopefully that will get sorted out better than it is at the moment, but there is a fix for it, and it's a simple fix, and I'll show you how to do now. And it's just using JoyToKey, and it's creating profiles. By the way, these other lit ones, that's my high sync field pedals, that's my handbrake, that's the shifter. So all I'm going to do is right click default, and that's what I use. I don't know what profile 1 is actually. Oh, let's just put it in the program anyway. Let's delete that, don't need that. So default, I'm going to rename that as F28. Copy B16M. Okay, so I've got two the same currently. Now it's a bit of a faff, but it means all I now have to do, and I've only got to do it once, is shift these about. And when I'm using B16M, sure, I'll be on this profile. To change profiles, literally just click JoyToKey, right click the bot. You can right click it in the taskbar and then just select your profile. You don't even have to open up this, it's shown on my other window, but basically you can just right click it and it lists your like I can just swap. So yeah, the bit of the faff is I've got to shift each of these. So for B16 this is correct for this one. These are all correct. These ones here correspond with what I've got set into sim here. Doesn't matter what these are, as long as they're just free and not bound to anything else. So all I've then got to do is go onto this profile, number 6, and shuffle them about a bit. So for example, on the F28, the the blue left upper, I want to equal this black button. So left blue here is crew chief. That's what I want as crew chief. So all I've got to do on this B16 is then press this one and change that to C. Okay, so look, change that to C and crew chief. And correct the spelling mistake. Done. And I'll do that for all of them. For example, I want my middle right black button on here is my lights. If I find that on here, if I can find it, lights right black lower is K. I want it to be this button on here, which is about the same position almost. My thumb on this one. Okay, so I'm going to change that to K. It's no longer ERS. Lights. Job done. And I'm just going to save it. That's where I got to. So you can see what I'm doing there. So basically, on F28, this upper left button here with my thumb will be, swap them over. You can see it's crew chief on F28. That's crew chief. Now turn it off. I swap to this one, B16 profile, and you can see that button is now crew chief. See, does that all make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's a good bit of kit, and all my devices go in. It just makes things simpler, you know. It shows up stuff that you're not really putting through it, like they've got axes, like handbrake isn't being used by it, but it shows up. VJoy, I'm not using that anymore. Number 10, even my A-log shifter is A and Q. Same as you can see, upshift and downshift I have as A and Q. And any other wheels I have or do get are the same, so you can just swap them over. Right, I've waffled on, a lot of talking. I hope it makes sense. It is useful. Okay, another thing that's shown on the Ascher website, as well as being hot swappable, which isn't technically true at the moment, is that the panel shifters are silenced due to no metal on metal contact. That seems to be a bit of a bending of the truth somewhat. They are by far the loudest shifters I've ever used, and how they count that as no metal on metal, I'm not sure. Right, for a comparison, I've got the Fanatec McLaren GT3 rim here. The mic is in front of it, foot and a half or so. Changing downshift. that's me doing it as hard as I can. I'll just do it normal. Right, I'm just going to move up. And now we're moving on to the B16M button plate. I can't do it softer than that. But it can get louder. I'm sorry, there is metal on metal, clearly, otherwise what you're hitting when it stops, and it is loud. That's loud. Even if I pick up my other one, my sim line, get rid of the rattly bit of metal there. Now that is quiet. It's not as snappy, to be fair, but it still feels good. So that's not really an issue for me. I don't really have a problem with the volume. I mean, I'm going to be in VR anyway with headphones on, and I highly doubt my neighbours are going to hear that in the middle of the night. I don't get complaints about the motion seat, but it's strange that they list it silenced on the website when it's, who can argue that's not loud? It's proper loud. Just something I point out. Right, but all in all, they are awesome bits of kit. I'm not going into video of me driving with them. Well, it's a steering wheel, you know, you've seen that. But I've had a go, and this is just rigid as anything. You know, I do like the McLaren GT3 rim. It's not really built for direct drive, and you can feel it's not so sturdy, and a little bit of creak now and then of plastic. Wearing gloves helps. To fool yourself, it might be a bit more sturdy than it is, but it's held up well. It's still good. But this is the real McCoy, proper solid. Yeah, not a lot more I can say. Beautiful bit of kit, good customer service, a few niggles that can be worked around and perhaps will be made even better in the future anyway. Yeah, but that's about it. If you've got any questions about them or anything you want to see, you know, drop me a comment. I'll try to reply to anyone. But yeah, I think that'll do it for now, and I actually want to just get in the sim and get on using them. So that'll do, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.